Hello, everyone. It's Jeannie. How are you? I hope you're well. We have another thundering, rainy day going on right now. Ooh. Hear that? It wasn't like this a half an hour ago. You know, these summer storms just come in, and I like them, actually. I'm rolling my desk with this lint roller because of the cats and the video. The last video I did, I realized I was like, just full of fur in my mouth. And I have on this lip gloss. It's a glaze. It's interesting. It reminds me of the 70s when I first started wearing lip gloss. Tastes the same. Anyway, the fur and dander gets into my mouth and my nose. Anyway, so that's why I'm doing this. And I know you like the sound, most of you. Today's video is going to be a blah, blah, blah set against stormy skies. And just talking to you about some things we need to be reminded of. And it doesn't matter your age, whether you're in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. We all need reminding of things. Now, one thing I do know is typically the older you get, the wiser you get. You've got lots of experience to look back on, lots of mistakes. And are they really mistakes? I've got lip gloss on my teeth. Okay, stay relaxing, Jeannie. Because mistakes are just really things we did that we learned from. Would I do it again that way? Would I not? Maybe, but typically we don't get somewhere later in life without building up a lot of experience. And some of it isn't great. That's just the nature of it. It's just the nature of life. Oh my God, it's shaking the room. I might cut that out, I'm sorry. Okay, maybe it's passing. I think it is. Maybe. Okay. All is calm. When I see something as I'm scrolling on my phone in the morning, sometimes it's something on Instagram, and I'll take a screenshot of it and I'll send it to one of the kids, one of my kids. It's something inspirational, some kind of cool quote that maybe they'll find useful, maybe they won't. It means something to me at the time, and I think about them and what they might be going through, and, think maybe they'll find something in it. And so I was going through my phone, and I thought I'd show you or read to you some of the things that I send my kids. Anyway, I made a special folder just for that. Before I get started, I wanted to send out a thank you to Kim in Canada, Auntie Angel. She sent me this. And you know why I appreciate this so much is shipping from Canada, A, isn't as easy, it takes longer, and it costs more. So thank you, Kim. And I'll tell you what it is. I haven't opened it yet. Oh. Tea. And there's a card. Hi, Jeannie. Here are some teas from my favorite brand. Hope you like them. Love, Kim. I do love you, Kim. I do. So we've got Sloan tea for 3. It's Earl Grey lavender. All of this is Sloan teas. Heavenly cream, which is a Ceylon black tea, Indian black tea, cornflower petals. That should be interesting. And here's another one. Earl Grey Classic. Oh, I love that. I should have brought up some hot water. I'd have it now. Yeah, Earl Grey Classic. And what is this? Rouge Provence. And Rouge Provence is South African red rooibos blended with blueberries, currants, and fine French florals. Fresh and elegant with a delicately fruity and sweet bouquet. Thank you, Kim. Look at all these teas. I really want one right now. I'm tempted to pause this video and go make one, but I'm not because I'm already set up. So I'm going to put them right there. Anyway, let's get back to this video. It's a long blah blah blah. I don't know how long. I never know how long they're going to be when I sit down. So let me show you a couple of the things, a few of the things that I've sent my kids and give you my thoughts on these. I love this one. It says, when God wanted to make a king out of David, he didn't give him a crown. He gave him Goliath. Your challenges prepare you for your purpose. Think about that. You don't just get the reward or get the end result without having gone through the challenge. And the hard part is the challenge. It's like, am I going to get to the other end? Yeah, you will. One way or another, you will. So think about that. When God wanted to make a king out of David, he didn't give him the crown. He gave him Goliath. He gave him the challenge. He gave him the thing that he needed to rise up against and surpass. Dig deep, do his thing and conquer Goliath. So I sent that to my son about 2 weeks ago, one of my sons. Okay, so that's one of them. Can you hear that? I hope you can. These mics are supposed to pick up everything, and I think they do. They'll even pick up my stomach growling. Okay, here's another one. Everything happens for a reason. The highs, the lows, the wins, the losses. The people who come in and the ones who leave. None of it is random. Every moment carries a lesson. Every lesson is guiding you closer to your purpose. So when life feels heavy, pause, breathe, and remember, there's a meaning in this too. It used to frustrate me when someone would say, everything happens for a reason. Well, what's the reason that, these awful things happened? What is the reason that I lost someone I loved? What is the reason that I am so hurt? What is the reason that I'm so challenged right now? And I'll tell you something, sometimes we won't get that answer. We won't get those answers. We just have to have a greater faith, whatever that is for you, that you are heading toward something better, bigger, even if that's just more evolving as a human being. It's easy to sit here and pontificate, to tell you, let things go, trust in the future, da-da-da. But I want you to know, there are many days I'm right in there with you on some of these challenges, where I feel like a failure, where I feel like quitting at something, where I feel like everything is stacked against me. Kind of a victim, right? And so I have to remind myself, too, that my focus feeds how I'm feeling. What am I focusing on? Am I focusing on the challenge and the negative parts of all of that? Or can I, even incrementally, shift some of that focus to gratitude, to owning a situation? If something is hard or challenging, what am I doing to make it like that? Where is my role in that? And looking for something, somehow, some way to be grateful. I'm going to lower my chair a little. There, that's better. Some way to look at the whole and think, someday I'm going to understand more about this situation. Someday I'm going to have some really good lessons in this. I don't know what they are right now. And the situation kind of sucks. But I'm going to get through the other end, and I'm going to have really learned from this. And honest to God, I do say this during really hard times. And I remember at 16 years old, we're talking a long time ago, 5 decades almost, when I lost my older brother, I remember standing in my bedroom thinking about this. My best friend, my brother, is gone. He was killed on a motorcycle. This is going to be one of my most impactful things in life. And I remember wondering how that was going to shape me. I didn't know. How can I know? But I knew it was going to shape me. And I also wondered, will this be the biggest thing that I ever go through. It wasn't. It wasn't. But I used that, and I remembered that feeling of knowing that this horrible thing that had happened in our lives, in the lives of my whole family, was shaping me. It was shaping my whole family. It was changing us. It was knocking us completely onto a different path. Now, did that make me feel better? No. Did it change the outcome of, what happened to my brother? No. But it helped me develop me in as a positive way as I could. Does that make sense? Just knowing that this hard thing is going to shape me. How am I going to look back on this? How will I use this? Not to my benefit, but for positivity. You see, I know that is a ramble and a half, right? So everything happens for a reason. Somebody dies. What's the reason in that? I don't know. You don't know. Only, the guy upstairs knows. And you have to I had to somehow let that be okay. As hard as it is, you have to let that be okay in a place in your heart, in your soul, in your spirit, and allow it, because we can't change it. We can't control it. We don't understand it. We don't have the answers. And so we put it somewhere and try not to let it fester and ruin our lives. That also helped me learn to put things on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the worst thing, the most painful. And understanding that, when I stub a toe or I edit a video wrong, do that a lot, and I start to feel crummy about it. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, is it really the 10 that I'm making it? No, it's not. It's not. No one's gonna die, I hope, from one of my poorly edited, bad-sounding, bad-focused videos. Right? So I've gotten really good in the last few decades of prioritizing how bad something really is. And if something feels like an 8 or a 9, I think about that. Is it really? Maybe I can notch that down. Maybe it's really a 4. And that's okay. It's okay to be a 4 and feel really crappy about that 4. But it does help, too, to realize no one's going to die. No one's going to be hurt from this. So, all right, let's move on. I read a comment from Nicole Trahan, and she said, this was maybe a month or so ago, Jeannie, we need more videos with some good life words of experience. I'm 39 with 3 children. I've stressed and worried myself through my oldest son's childhood. Boom, he's 18. I've watched this video for the last couple of weeks, every day, just for the last 8 minutes. Be easy with your life. I need to hear this every day. We are in the throes of traveling for college basketball tryouts, and normally I'd be stressing about money, time, travel, etc. But you've taught me to just go with the flow. I'm embracing these trips and these moments. We will enjoy it and not see it as a task. I'm choosing a new perspective for this and all things. It's time to stop being miserable all the time because life is busy. Amen, Nicole. And it's easy to get caught up in the stress of life. The financial stresses, the work stresses, the broken down car stresses, the sick dog, the sick cat, the kid you have that isn't doing what he or she needs to be doing, the stresses of worrying about your kids. The stresses of life are many. And so the best thing you can do is really just find ways to let go. Some of the things worrying won't. Oh my God. That hit something out there. I don't know what. Okay. I gotta get rid of this. That just blasted my brain. Anyway, we get caught up in those stresses, and they do feel overwhelming. And we lie there at night, in the middle of the night, just stressing out. How could we change things? What should we do? Or just replaying the event of what's happening. And worry just doesn't change anything. It just doesn't change anything. You are better if you sleep. You're better able to make good decisions. Now, if you're anything like me, sometimes you replay conversations, things you should have said or things you wish you wouldn't have said. That's normal, And the thing is, let that go because it doesn't matter. You can't undo a conversation. You might have to own something and clean it up. Or you might have to amend it and say, I was thinking about this. Let's add this thought to our conversation. But I do that too. But ultimately, I just need to let go and remember, worry won't change anything. It doesn't fix anything, especially at 2 a.m. The best thing you can do is find a way to just chill out, calm down, find something to be grateful for, even if it's just a small thing. Okay? Put on a video. Distract yourself. I have lots of videos that I turn to for different reasons. Some of them are ASMR, some of them aren't. It's just when I want a great distraction, I turn on videos about the royal family, whom I love, by the way. I am a big Princess Catherine fan. I want her wardrobe. I don't know where I'd wear those things, but I want her wardrobe. And I suppose her figure. So, okay. When I put my glasses on, I still see so much fur on this black cover. Okay. I love this one because it's so true for those of you who are parents. And it says motherhood, but it could be fatherhood or parenthood. Motherhood is seeing your heart walk around outside your body and hoping the world is gentle with it. And that was written by Elizabeth Stone, whoever she is, I don't know. And it's so true. Oh my God. this is supposed to be a calm, blah, blah, blah. And here I am freaking out at the storm. Okay, Jeannie, calm down. Maybe it's God getting in on the conversation, going, yeah, Jeannie. Okay. When you have kids or you have people in your care, it could be a grandchild or a niece or a nephew that you're raising, you want their walk in life to be good, to be happy, to be easy. You don't want them to struggle. You don't want them to hurt and go through painful things. And guess what? There's no avoiding that. When I was out in California just last week, we were together, a lot of us and the kids. We were in El Dorado Hills at the town center where they have a big lake. And some of the kids were over by the fence, and one of my daughters called Bella, our almost 5-year-old granddaughter, said, Bella, come look at the turtle. And so Bella went running in her little sandals, and she didn't see a step down. And she went flying and hit splat. You could hear the splat, and you could see the skid marks on her arms and knees. And then there's that quiet before the scream. If you're a parent, you know what I mean. It's like the shock, the quiet, and then you know it's coming. In that moment of silence, I jumped up and I went into super grandma, super Baba Nini mode, like I had a cape on. And I flew across that patio area, and she's almost 40 pounds. And I mean, that's heavy for me. I'm not that strong. And I scooped her up. I did one of those lift the car up, because a kid is stuck under it moments, kind of Superman moments. I scooped her up and I started to run back to her dad or her mom, and her dad showed up right there, and she was screaming now, and everybody heard it, and she had no skin on her elbows and her knees. It was just like skinned off. So I gave her to her dad, and someone came running over with some wet wipes and a bag of ice and all this stuff, and the falling down of our children, the skinning of the knees, the getting hurt, it can't be avoided. It just can't be avoided. And your heart hurts for them, and you wish you could change it and have them avoid that. I know another big clap is coming. I know it. I can feel it. I sent this to one of the kids. It says, Lord, fix me, because sometimes I am the problem. There are days when my pride builds walls, my words wound, or my impatience clouds my love. Give me strength to let go of my stubbornness, my fears, and my self-centered ways. Fix me, Lord, because I can't fix myself. Shape me into the person you've called me to be. More loving, more forgiving, more like you. Teach me to take accountability, not to dwell on my failures, but to grow through them. Keep working in me, Lord. He's clapping. I love that, because sometimes I am the problem. Sometimes I don't see it until after the situation. Sometimes in talking with some of the kids, I realize I'm in trying to fix it mode. Listen to me, do what I say. Or just, I don't know, in life, I'm the problem. I just might be in a bad mood, you know. And I need to be more patient. I need to be kinder. I need to see past the moment of frustration that, you know, when I'm out and about and it just feels like everybody's doing everything to slow my life down, you know, get in my way when I'm driving, you know, give me I don't know, just whatever at the store. I'm just like, you know, the line gets longer. I'm in the wrong line. Wah, wah, wah. You know, petty things. So that's a great prayer. Lord, fix me, because sometimes I'm the problem. And I think the more we acknowledge that and admit that, it helps us move on from that. Okay? It's easy to blame, and I know a lot of people, and they have a finger to point at everyone else for their problems. They never take responsibility for the situation or any part of the situation. Try to do that more. I am trying. I fail, but I try again and again and again. Okay. I'm thinking I'm not going to edit this video at all unless one of those claps of thunder makes me curse. Okay. Oh, I read this. This is about our pets. And I sent this to a friend who had just had to put her dog down. And it says, what's the hardest part about having a dog? And it could be a cat or anything. They asked, their tone casual, like it was just another question. I glanced at the worn leash hanging by the door, my chest tightening. Letting them go, I said, quietly. They frowned a little, waiting for me to explain. They come into your life like they were always meant to be there, I said, trying to find the words. They make everything better, simpler, and brighter. And you think it's always going to be that way, but it's not. One day, they're gone, and you're left with all the space they used to fill. They nodded, but I wasn't sure they understood. It's not the messes they made or the routines you have to let go of, I continued. It's the absence. You walk into the house and it feels wrong. The quiet is heavier. The mornings don't feel the same without them nudging you awake. So why do it, they asked, their voice softer this time. I sighed, glancing down at my hands. Because the love they give you is worth every bit of the heartache. They teach you how to love without holding back. And even when you know it's going to hurt in the end, you keep choosing that love because you know it's one of the best things you'll ever feel. And that is from the book called Dog People by R.M. Drake. And, you know, one of my YouTube friends, Christina from Old School ASMR Sounds, she lost her pug, her beautiful, beautiful little pug that she and her husband loved so much, and it was so hard on her. And, you know, I think about her and another friend of mine who just had to put her German Shepherd down, and someone else with a cat, and we've gone through so many pets, oh my goodness. And yeah, it's worth it, even through the sadness at the end. the love that they give you and the love that they help you express is worth it all. I think pets make us better human beings. And sometimes I prefer pets to human beings. There are days, right? There are days. Because pets just love us unconditionally. I heard this thing, I can't remember where I read it, and it said to test your wife's or your husband's love. Lock them and your pet in a trunk for an hour. And when you open it, see which one is happy to see you. It'll be the pet. It'll be the dog. The person, the spouse, maybe not so much. But they just do. They just love you. Okay, next. One day you will understand how it works. You'll one day arrive at the place where you are wise enough to accept that some people aren't meant to stay permanently in your life, no matter how much you want them to. You will understand that some people are merely lessons, no matter how much you want them to be your home. You'll understand that some people are simply catalysts meant to give rise to the light inside of you so you can emerge from the darkness. You'll realize that some people only serve as reminders of all the virtues you've already learned before. You'll understand that some people are merely a caution, a warning, a foreseeing of the dangerous road that may lie ahead if you ever make the mistake of choosing the wrong path again. You'll realize that it's okay to let go, because the beauty not only lies in the pain, but also in the love you've expended and earned and all of the lessons you've learned. What matters most is that you've grown from the hurt and know that from every ending you will pick yourself up courageously and begin again. I do not know who wrote that, but I see it came from the Thought Catalog on Instagram. That's where I read that from, but I don't know the author. But I loved that. And heartbreak is a hard one, not only for yourself, but someone you love. How do you help someone through heartbreak? Time heals. We know that. And that's something we just have to trust in and rely on. Time heals. You will get through it. Right? It's just a matter of time. It may be that you always hurt thinking about that person who is not in your life anymore for one reason or another. But time helps. So, whoa. My desk shakes with all that thunder, but I feel like it's passed on a little bit. That's the south, and that's the north. So, just real quick, let's look at this. Radar. Look at that. It's all red. Can you see that? Oh, look at all that red around me. Wow. Okay, but I think it's moved on. Okay, and here's another one from the same Instagram page called Thought Catalog. And it's titled, Choosing You. I hope you have the courage to choose yourself over and over. I hope you have the courage to move forward not backwards. To choose growth over comfort. To choose possibility over the past. I hope you know how worthy you are of everything you've ever wanted, even if an unkind heart has caused you to believe otherwise. Your soft heart deserves to feel loved and chosen, not just today, but every day. I hope you wake up each day feeling hopeful and encouraged, knowing that you're so capable of every single thing you want to do, big or small. I hope you remember to think beyond your comfort zone from time to time and never forget the importance of growth. I hope you remember that progression isn't always easy, and sometimes the things that scare you will actually get you a lot closer to where you want to be. I hope you make the most of each day and know that you are worthy of the life you have been gifted, that you are worthy of success and deserve all the triumphs that you've worked so hard for, and all the beautiful things coming your way. Yeah, I love that. You know, going through hard times, and we all do at various periods of our life. And I think if you stand where you are now and you look back at your life, however long or short it was, you see the hard times, the trials and tribulations, and the outcomes, and they all led you to where you are now. And in the midst of the hardest of times, you have to know you'll come out of that. You'll come out of it. You know, I don't like on this channel talking about death. You know, I don't want it. I don't want this to be a downer, but there are things we, as human beings, we're all headed toward a particular end. And it isn't, living forever. And we never know our last day with someone, our last moments. We don't. The last time we'll see someone at my age and my husband's age, more and more of the reunions we're having are at memorials and funerals, it seems, this past year. Unexpected. We just lost a friend, a pilot friend, who my husband has known for, since school, his school-age days. And he passed away in a plane crash. And he was a very experienced pilot. You could Google it. It was two guys in a small plane and taking off in West Glacier, Montana. He didn't calculate something correctly. And he didn't get off the runway. Well, he did, but it didn't go far. And I thought, what? I was really mad about it. It's like, what a waste of all his training and thousands of hours of experience. And boom, like that, he was gone. But I don't know God's plan for taking someone out. I don't know God's plan for taking me out and when that will be or how that will be. And so I have to resort to feeling like whenever that day is, it's okay. I'm good with God. I'm ready to go. I don't want to right now. I'm stuck in my physical. I want to do things here. But if that should end tomorrow, that's, I guess, up to that guy who's suddenly quiet right now. I saw this, and I found it kind of comforting. And it says, death is nothing at all. It doesn't count. I've only slipped away into the next room. Nothing has happened. Everything remains exactly as it was. I am I, and you are you. And the old life that we lived so fondly together is untouched and unchanged. Whatever we were to each other, we still are. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak of me in the easy way which you always used. Put no difference into your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes that we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without an effort, without the ghost of a shadow upon it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is absolute and unbroken continuity. What is this death but a negligible accident? Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am but waiting for you, for an interval, somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well. That's an interesting perspective. It's just around the corner. And then I saw this. For a star to be born, there is one thing that must happen. A gaseous nebula must collapse. So collapse, crumble. This is not your destruction. This is your birth, like a star. And then I saw something that said, it may seem difficult at first, but everything is difficult at first. The hardest thing is to start. That's where 95% of people are stuck. They never start. They keep waiting and making excuses. If you want to break a bad habit, the first few days will be the hardest, and after a few weeks, it'll get pretty easy to keep going. And I'm going to let it, the last couple will be how I end this video. When your head hits the pillow tonight, remind yourself that you've done a good job. Be patient with yourself and remember that big things are achieved not all at once, but one day at a time. Gratitude is the best medicine. It heals your mind, your body, and your spirit. The bonus, it attracts more things to be grateful for. That I love. And I'll tell you, sometimes when I'm caught up in my own whirlwind, I think about you all and the comments I get from you and the lovely things people send me, magazines and tea and books and I don't need that, to feel validated, but it's just so nice. And I think about the comments and the love that comes from you to me and to each other. I'm really grateful for that. I know this was just a blah, blah, blah on a lot of kind of some deep topics. But you're not alone. And that's my whole point. Many of you look at me as if I've got it all together and my life is perfect. And there are days that's true. And then there are days that it's not. And that's okay. It's okay. There are days I do great. And there are days that I fail and screw up. So what? So what? Right? You're not alone. You are among other human beings who are very similar to you. And it's nice, I think, to know you're not alone. Right? Okay. That is my very profound blah, blah, blah. And I hope you found something in it that resonated with you. It's silent outside now. It's very quiet. Storms pass, don't they? They never last. They come, they do their thing. They scare us, they worry us, they upset us. But then they pass. I could not have choreographed that better if I tried to make a great point. So there we are. I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to go make a cup of tea with Kim's tea. Angel on my shoulders. Angel on my shoulder, 1S. Who is such a kind spirit. And I'm grateful for the kind spirits that I've attracted in this YouTube world. And those that have attracted me to them. It's a beautiful synchronicity. Okay, I want my tea now. My heart has stopped racing. The storm is past. It's time for a cup of tea. I wish you well, my dear friends. I hope you know that. And I hope this helped. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.